Hey, you guys, and welcome to my channel. And we're gonna have a pillow talk tonight. It's been so long, you guys, since I've actually done a pillow talk. It may have been like over a year now. So I'm looking forward to this. And I thought of a topic that I definitely wanted to discuss with you tonight. So let's get into it. We're gonna talk about why the narcissist gets over the breakup faster. And we're going to go deeper with these reasons here. All right. So they may be some non obvious reasons, or I won't assume that it's non obvious to everyone. But, they may be the things that people won't say in a knee jerk response or won't be like on the top of their mind. But as we go down this rabbit hole, you guys, psychologically, in studying their behaviors, and the way that they process things, generally speaking, this is what I've come to find anyway, as to why the narcissist is, getting over these breakups faster than you are. All right. So I have a list here of 7 things that I'm going to point out with this. So, number one, you guys, they actually made the choice to get over it. Yeah. And for the survivor, that seems, or it can seem challenging at first. But you actually do have a choice. Life is full of choices. So have you actually made a clear decision to get over this breakup? Or are you still concerned with aspects of the relationship, or trying or seeking closure and understanding from the connection? Because at that point, it would be, are you still living for them? All right, are you pausing your life or living your life? So the narcissist is actually making that choice, you guys. They're not concerned with aspects or closure from the connection. They're going to continue to go on and live ratchetly so, but yeah, that's their energy. They're going to stay in their energy, but they're making that choice to get over it, first and foremost. Number two, you guys, and this is going to be an interesting thing that I don't really hear people, I've never heard anyone mention this about narcissists, but they do care about timing. They do care about timing, and they care about a schedule. Hence the cycle of abuse. And to connect with number two, number three, although they don't care about your boundaries, they care about theirs, even if their boundaries are toxic. So if their boundary is, you're discarded right now, that's their boundary. Now, with the survivor who becomes susceptible to being love bombed again and hoovered back in a lot of times, the boundaries are a lot weaker. You see, the narcissist has boundaries, but they're very toxic ones. And they follow them, and generally they abide by them, and they require other people to be toxic with them and abide by it. But they need to be with people who don't have good boundaries. All right, so because they care about the timing and the schedule of things, and they're compartmentalizing, they're pretty good at that with the cycle of abuse. They're actually maintaining their boundaries as a narcissist. So what we would have to do, obviously, is shift out of that victim energy, shift out of being controlled and dictated, shift out of, that trauma bond energy that's, making you susceptible to being at their beck and call and doing things on their time. All right. The fourth reason I have on here on why they get over the breakup faster is, newsflash, they aren't actually even grieving the loss of you, as survivors grieve them. they didn't care enough. And in their mind, the energy is best put somewhere else. Now, you know, we could take a page out of their book with this, honestly, in our emotional maturity when we get into our logic with this situation. But what a lot of times survivors tend to find out is they're not grieving the narcissist so much so either. They're actually grieving what the narcissist wasn't, what they thought the narcissist was. They're grieving the loss of the hope of what they thought this relationship was going to be and all the empty promises that were never fulfilled. So you guys aren't actually grieving them either. And a lot of times you don't realize it. It's not them, it's what they represented to you, is what you thought you were going to get reciprocated or what you were going to gain from that connection. All right? So the fifth reason, you guys, that I have on here as to why they get over these breakups faster is they focus on something new. You know, they're willing to expand their horizons. And we'll put new in quotes, you know, for the narcissists that are cheating and they have many things lined up. Okay? But are you focusing on something new? Are you focusing on something old? And that goes back to the number one aspect, you guys, as far as are you still concerned with an aspect or the closure from the connection. But yeah, they're willing to focus on something new and something else. All right. Number 6, you guys, they focus on what they can have versus what they don't have. A lot of times, survivors are focused on what they don't have. And this, you know, just generally speaking, if you want to have a happier space, a happier energy, there's nothing wrong with realizing, hey, I don't have this, but let's find a constructive way, or let's come up with a goal and a plan as to how to get that. There's a difference between finding an issue and finding a solution than wallowing and dwelling and moping and getting sunken, you know, into like this big dark black hole as to what you don't have. Narcissists usually try to focus on what they can have. And even if they don't have something, they psych themselves out to say that they do have it. They're not claiming it. And they're finding ways to get to that. You know, they're finding ways to manifest and create that reality in their life. I mean, they're going to use toxic, manipulative, sneaky, underhanded, deceptive means to, you know, do this, but this is what they're doing. You know, they're focusing on what they can have and they're finding a ways to get what they don't have versus, like I said, wallowing. Okay, you guys? The last thing that I have here on this list, and this is a big one, you guys, and we can take a page out of their book with this. Their world never revolved around any one external person. It never revolved around it. Now, how it didn't revolve around it, you know, that's their toxic way of how they don't revolve things around people. There's a healthy way to not put all your eggs in one basket. There's a healthy way to not revolve your world so much until you just feel completely enmeshed and you're shattered, you know, when that connection has to end or it's run its course. So their world never revolved around you, basically. So once you were removed from it, there were so many other aspects of themselves because, you know, you weren't making them or pushing them to cut off all, you know, their family and friends and isolate themselves. And even if you did, they would not do it unless they wanted to do it. And if they cut them off, they damn sure has replacements for all that energy and supply that they're not now going to get from their family and friends. They'll just create a new set of friends, okay, and even hide it from you. And then some of them are so bold as to put it in your face if they feel like you're broken enough to still sit around after they do that, you guys. But yeah, those are the 7 reasons, you guys, that I've come up with to, begin to give you some insight into how they think and how they operate and why they are getting over these breakups faster, why they're able to just, they're rebounding into new relationships. But we know that they're addicted to relationships and they're relationship junkies. But if we want to look on a bigger box or a bigger, we step back and take a wider view of this whole situation, they're not going to give up on having their supply. So that's why you should not give up on having, the relationship of your dreams either. But just make sure that you've shattered, all that grief, any bitterness, and the anger inside of you to the point where you can actually attract and be in a healthy relationship. All right, you guys, I hope this pillow talk has helped you. And, feel free to leave comments down below. Feel free to hit that like button. It always helps to support the channel. And, oh yeah, I definitely have to make this plug. I wrote a book, you guys. The X Factor Poetry Edition Volume 1, the X Factor Poetry Edition Volume 2. They coincide with one another, but I would definitely read them in order. Part 1 is a beautiful poetry book, you guys, but it's way more than that. Half of the book is a poetry book, and the other half of the book breaks down each poem. It talks about the toxicity in these relationships. You're going to find yourself in a lot of these poetries, and I talk about the solution and the shadow work that can be done with each issue that arises. Okay? So it's a great book to help lift you up during the breakup process, and it's a great way to feed your mind on a positive note and do so on a creative angle, more entertainment, but getting those pearls of wisdom at the same time. So feel free to check those out. They're on Amazon, they're on Barnes and Nobles, hard copy, ebook format as well, you guys. They're also available on my website if you want a signed copy. All right, everything's going to be all right, you guys. I make these kind of videos because I know number one happens a lot and people are still concerned with aspects and looking for closure from the connection. So you can definitely, there's over 700 videos here where I do dive a lot into the mind of a narcissist, and I answer these questions to help you guys make sense of things, because they certainly ain't trying to directly help you. Okay? All right. So be blessed, you guys. Have a good evening. Never give up on yourself. Continue to do the work. And until next time, please take care.